In this video, I want to take a look at how to install Eclipse on our virtual machine. So Eclipse is a development environment that's been around for quite a long time, an open source development environment. Is it the best? It depends on who you ask. There are a lot of fans of alternative development environments, but nonetheless, Eclipse being open source, it's one of those things that everybody just kind of knows. Whether it's their favorite or not, it's like a lingua franca of the programming world where you just kind of know how to do it in Eclipse. So I just searched for Eclipse IDE. I go to Eclipse downloads and I have to be a little bit careful here because get Eclipse Photon, download 64-bit. There's several different packages and we want to make sure that we get the Java EE package as opposed to just the general package. What's the difference? If I click on download packages, we're going to see several things that don't even matter. Eclipse IDE for Eclipse committers, you definitely don't want that. C++, don't want that. If we keep scrolling down, we see Eclipse IDE for Java developers. That's tempting, but that's not the one that we want. That's one if you're making kind of like a swing applications or applications that will run directly on one computer. Java EE is Java Enterprise Edition, which you notice that the download size is a bit more than the standard edition, almost twice as much. And this is really used for server-side development and client-side development as well. So essentially, you get everything in the Eclipse IDE for Java developers. Additionally, you get some things that are geared towards server development or enterprise development or even multi-computer development. Some really neat things that we can do. So that's the one that we want. All of these are free. It's just a matter of download size, really, and the features that you're getting for that download size. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Windows 64-bit, and then I'm going to choose download. While this is downloading, I'll tell you that, we'll go ahead and choose save. While this is downloading, I'll tell you that it will require a Java Software Development Kit as well. So I've searched for Java SDK in a separate tab and clicked on this, or opened it up in a new tab. We'll go ahead and do that if we want. Open in a new tab. And at the time of this recording, our options are Java 10, Java 8, or several other ones that are older. My temptation is to go with the latest one that Eclipse supports. So what I want to do, though, is go ahead and let this download finish, and then let's start Eclipse. And Eclipse will say, hey, I don't see a JDK on this machine or an SDK on this machine. And then from there, we'll download the SDK, and then we'll marry them both together and watch them start together. So I'll let this continue downloading. I'll pause the video. We'll pick back up in just a moment. The download is finished. Normally, I would choose Open from here. I'm going to go ahead and choose Open in Folder. Reason being, I have a feeling I might go here twice. Once to show what happens when we install without an SDK, and again to show what happens when we do have an SDK. Normally, I would just install the SDK first and then Eclipse. The reason I'm doing it in a kind of funny order, I'm trying to install Eclipse first, is a lot of times I get a question which is, how do I fix this error when there's no SDK? And I want to show you what that error means. And the other reason is, installing Eclipse is quite easy. All you have to do is unzip it. So there's really not a long process to install it beyond just downloading it. So first of all, notice I put it right in C drive, and that feels a bit unorthodox, but it's something that I typically do just in case I need to run from command line. It saves me several steps. So we know that root C drive is a bit sacred, but nonetheless. I'm going to go ahead and rename this to just Eclipse. I'm going to name the zip file to Eclipse so that I can very easily just right-click and choose Extract All and put it right here in the C and then Eclipse folder. We'll let this go, might take just a moment. So at this point, Eclipse unzipped, and luckily for pausing the video, it did take several minutes, so just be prepared for that. I double-click on the Eclipse folder, and I've gotten into a scenario I'm not really keen on here, which is I have an Eclipse folder in an Eclipse folder. So first order of business is to fix this. Might take a little finagling, but nonetheless, I'm going to just rename this Eclipse folder to Eclipse 2, because I'm going to delete that in a moment. And then I'm going to take the inner Eclipse folder and just drag it up to the C drive. So now Eclipse 2 is essentially empty, and Eclipse is the folder that I want. Again, a little easier, just essentially one click down from the C drive gives us this Eclipse folder. So I click into there, and then I click into Eclipse, and here's that error. Okay, so a Java runtime environment or development kit must be available in order to run Eclipse. So it's looking for this kit. Okay. Now, just taking a look at dependencies here, Eclipse Photon, which is what we just downloaded, a Java 8 or newer JRE JDK is required. Okay, fair enough. Why don't we go ahead and get the latest? So first of all, in our virtual machine, I'm going to go ahead and hit toggle full screen. That'll make our view a little bit easier here. Secondly, I can just search for Java SDK, and we come here to the Oracle website, whoops, just like so. And we'll go ahead, Java 10 is fine, and we'll click JDK and then download. Now, once we get here, of course, you need to take a look at the license agreement, read it in great depth, and once you're comfortable reading it, choose Accept License Agreement, and then because we're on a Windows-based version machine, go ahead and click here. Now, while I had the video paused, I went ahead and downloaded this to save a little bit of time. So you see that the download has completed down below, which is just the next step after clicking on the link here. I'm going to go ahead and choose Run here, and we'll follow the prompts. Okay, I trust myself. I'm going to choose Run, and we'll give it just a few more moments. There'll probably be a few pauses as we're going through, and I'll do my best to speed up the video in post-edit. So, okay, install, choose Next. Now, here's another one of those things where install to program files, Java JDK 1 to 10.02. Normally that's fine, but I have found when I need to do command line stuff, it's a lot easier to not worry about this long file path, especially with the space there. I do remember the days back in the 90s, back when you couldn't have spaces and all kinds of tricky things happen. So I might just call this JDK 10. C JDK 10. Again, I know that C drive is sacred, but this is one that a lot of times I will put at that very top level. So JDK 10, all of this is good. Development tools, source code, public JRE, all of that is stuff that we need. So we choose Next, and we'll let this go. Okay. Java setup. Now this is for the JRE. If you're newer to Java, this is a bit confusing because we downloaded a JDK, a Java Development Kit, or also you could call it an SDK, a Software Development Kit. Now, what's this JRE? Well, this is the Java Runtime Environment, which means you have a Java program that you need to run. So it's not like building a Java program. It is essentially just running an existing program. So I'm going to put this in C, and once again, just to make it a little more convenient so I don't have to deal with a really long path, I'm going to put it in C, JRE 10, just like so. You don't have to do that, but for me, I just find that a lot more convenient. I go ahead and choose Next, and now it's going to start installing. And now Java Development Kit has been successfully installed, looking pretty good. So go ahead and choose Close. Go back and double-click on Eclipse and take a look. Do you remember that error screen that we had before? Error screen's gone. Now instead, I've double-clicked and you see this little window's coming up here. Eclipse does take a few moments to load, so I'll go ahead and hit fast forward here. Now, what you see here is a workspace. A workspace is essentially where we are going to do our work, where we are going to have our projects. This is fine. C Users Administrator Eclipse Workspace. You can have multiple projects in a workspace, and that is common if you have multiple artifacts that you're building. In other words, multiple WAR files, jar files, something like that. Many times, entirely separate projects will have entirely separate workspaces. So I'll go ahead, leave it at the default here. Just remember that, because if you're looking for the source code on your computer, you're going to want to navigate to this path. So I'll go ahead and choose Launch, and once again, a little delay as we wait for it to come up. Okay, and Eclipse is now up and running, and you see that it has this welcome screen. I guess you could look at this, but I typically just hit the X and get started. Now, if we take a look at this, this is the traditional Eclipse look and feel. If you're used to other IDEs like NetBeans or other things, this can get a bit intimidating. But really the trick with Eclipse is knowing some of the good shortcuts. Eclipse is a heavy-duty IDE. It can do a lot of different things, and for that reason we have a lot of different buttons here that we can press. Let's just test our installation. So I'm going to say New, and I'll just say New Project. Probably that's easy. I just want to do a basic Java project. So I do Java project, and I choose Next. Project name, we'll say HelloWorld. world, the traditional hello world. Notice that it's putting it under our workspace location and then a hello world project. It has our Java SE10. It's figured out our JRE. Everything here is looking pretty good. Again, just a very basic Java program just to make sure our installation is correct. It gives us a source folder. That looks good. I choose Finish. And sure, module info. We'll go ahead and choose Create. And open Java Perspective. Perspective is one of the things that I found to be a little bit confusing when I was learning Java. They're basically different ways that Eclipse can show different windows at different times, but sometimes it's confusing switching from one perspective to another. So here I'm going to say New, and then I'm going to say Class, and we'll call this one, for lack of anything better, Hello World. Okay, and then I'm going to choose Finish. We'll say Public Static Void Main String Args. One note about using the virtual machine in the browser is I found that the shortcuts that I use in Eclipse don't always work because sometimes the browser intercepts them. So I just said that one of the best things about Eclipse is learning the shortcuts, but we cannot always use them. I do find with a browser-based IDE, or rather a browser-based virtual machine, that Firefox doesn't intercept the shortcuts as much as Eclipse does, so kind of like Firefox for that reason. I did make a cardinal sin here. I've placed this in the default package, which I don't want to do, so I'm going to say New and then Package, and we'll just call this one Hello. Not feeling very creative today, obviously. So I'm going to take this, I'm going to drop it into Hello from default package. Okay, notice that Eclipse was kind enough to give me this package Hello. And now right-click, Run as Java Application, and Hello World. So you see what it did is any class with a main method in Eclipse, I can right-click and I can choose Run as, and then Run as Java Application will just run it locally, as opposed to Run on Server, which will run it on a server that we include in our IDE. That's why we wanted the Java EE version, so that we could run our applications on a server like so. But if we just want to run them locally, we choose Java Application and it runs locally. So our IDE, our Eclipse IDE, we're able to edit, we're able to compile, we're able to execute, and soon we'll see that we're able to debug as well. So in this video, we've seen how to install Eclipse by simply downloading and unzipping it, and then also install a Java software development kit that Eclipse will run on. We saw how to start Eclipse, start a workspace, start a program, compile, and execute this program. This is just the start of many great things to come, so I look forward to continuing this journey with you. Thank you.